What if death is not the end? It might not be the end that you want, but death will not be the end of your story. Because for Spinoza's monism, there is more to our post-mortem existence than we might think. Spinoza argued that the entire universe is one substance. Your body and each of your thoughts are part of this substance. Everything is part of one infinite, eternal substance. But everything that we interact with, all of the objects and the people that we see, are modes. Modes are temporary configurations of this underlying reality, so you are just a particular composition at this moment in time. Eventually, you will move on to a different mode, because we are just waves in an ocean, briefly distinct but inseparable from the whole. One day, our waves will fade back into the sea. Likewise, you are just a fleeting moment of the infinite. You are a temporary manifestation of the monosubstance. Eventually, your mind and your body will disintegrate and you will rejoin the great ocean, but the substance won't vanish, it will transform. Spinoza invites us to see the world from the perspective of eternity. From this view, the distinctions we make between others and ourselves, or between life and death, are illusions born of our limited perspectives. So you are not just a human, you are the universe momentarily expressed as you. And one day you will rejoin the infinite substance, not as a loss, but as part of the eternal flow of modes.
So let's expand on this idea. Here, this blue dot, we'll pretend that this is Spinoza's idea of the mono thing, the universe as one whole thing. And so this thing contains all of us right now. But let's imagine that the universe for this thought experiment is completely devoid of all life. So it's just the universe itself. But then one day you come to exist. And what are you? You're an instance of consciousness. So in a way, you are, in this view, you are just a part of the universe. You could say that, it's the universe's atoms is constructing you, so you are the universe. The universe has become conscious via a brain that is constructed out of parts of the universe itself. So this is a way for the universe to be aware of itself. So the universe has become conscious in this way. And so let's say that, so now the universe is conscious, but then say that you die, and so that consciousness goes away. But then let's say that sometime later, another consciousness comes to exist via some other brain or AI, an animal brain or an alien brain or some other human brain somewhere else. So there is consciousness again. So once again, the universe is conscious. So it doesn't really matter which brain is doing it. There is this what's referred to as generic subjective continuity. From the perspective of experience itself, there is no end to experience. You might end as a particular instance of consciousness. You'll cease to exist. That instance of consciousness will end, but the universe continues to be aware, conscious. It's not the universe as like a being or anything. So no memory is retained, and every time the universe becomes aware, there is no continuity of you. But after you die, you shouldn't suppose that you go into some kind of endless blankness, a void of no experience. There will be experience after you die, in the very same way that the last time you didn't exist, there was experience after that. You didn't exist, but then consciousness came to ensue, and so that caused consciousness to come after you didn't exist. And the same thing will happen once again after you die, because the consciousness, the universe will be conscious once again via other brains. And so there is no nothingness after death. There is just the universe constantly being aware of itself. Consciousness as kind of a mirror for which the universe sees itself. So there's just this unending awareness of itself via these brains that keep coming to exist. It's almost like in the video game Super Mario Brothers. Mario has many lives, and after one dies, another comes to exist. The game goes on, life goes on. There is no you don't see a black void after your first Mario dies. It's just there's a continuity, although there's no continuation of the Mario that died. It's a completely new Mario. So there isn't a lack of experience after Mario dies. There is a continuity of experience, albeit a generic continuity of experience. It's kind of a broken continuity of experience. So again, after death, you shouldn't expect there to be a lack of experience, an unending oblivion, but instead the same thing happens again. Just as you didn't exist was followed by a life, death will also be followed by life, because consciousness keeps coming to exist. And that's really what you are, in a sense. You are just an instance of consciousness. You are consciousness.
I don't know how the Epicureans deal with death.
Well, Epicurus is on the record as saying that we should not fear death, because while we are alive, death is not here, and when we are dead, we won't be around to care anyway, essentially.
Yeah.
My philosophy tells me that the death afterwards is going to be the same as my life was before I was born. It'll be like that afterwards.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a deep dive on this. Maybe I can have someone on the show to do an episode on death. I meant to make a video about death for a long time, just the different philosophical ideas around it.
Well, I would first suggest Sam Harris to discuss his views on death, just because he discusses what's called generic subjective continuity in his episode called The Paradox of Death, which is the term generic subjective continuity was introduced by Thomas W. Clarke in his essay Death, Nothingness, and Subjectivity. But I just think that Sam would probably be a good idea just because he's so popular. But another option that I think would be really cool is Tom and Sam together to discuss this. That would be very entertaining, I think. So definitely check out Tom Clarke's essay at naturalism.org. It's very interesting. It gets into everything that I was talking about earlier. So I just also finished a book on all of this called Death and Nothingness, What Atheists Need to Know About Death. Here's the sections on the side here. It's available at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com. It's 100 pages. It's $10.99 everywhere. Well, I'm not sure about the exact pricing for other countries, but everywhere in America it's $10.99. You'd have to actually search for my name whenever you look it up on those websites, search engines. Thanks for watching.